In this video, I'll be giving you a quick overview of Google Drive. I'll be showing you how to get to your KVCC Google Drive, how to see what's in it, and how to open something in an email that has been shared in Google Drive. First, I want to tell you a little bit about why using Google Drive is so helpful. First of all, it's a safe place to store things. You can store Word documents, PDFs, PowerPoints, Excel, pictures, pretty much anything you can store in your computer, you can store in Google Drive. This includes things that you started on Microsoft Word or Microsoft PowerPoint. Even though you didn't start them in Google Drive, you can still put them in Google Drive to share and access. Once something is in your Google Drive, you can access it anywhere you have internet. So this PowerPoint I made on Google Slides, and I can access it on my phone at the grocery store. I can access it on my computer at home. I could access it in China if I had a computer with a connection. Anywhere I have internet, I can access my Google Drive. That means that I can start something at work and then finish it at home, which is really nice. It also means that I'm able to share things really easily. So one of the best things about Google Drive, especially when you work in a job where you collaborate with other people, is you can share documents with other people and you can work on them at the same time. You can leave comments and edit, and you see all of that in real time instead of having to send documents back and forth to edit, which is very nice. Now, just because it's called Google Drive doesn't mean that the things that you put in it will show up in a Google search. It's a private account that's linked to your KVCC account, and only people that you give specific access to will be able to see things. By default, everything is private. No one except you will be able to see anything. You have to share things individually. So if I have a document that I want to share with my colleagues, I would go into that document and change the settings so that they specifically can see it. Even when I do that, it doesn't mean that somebody can search for it in Google. You only have access if I share it with you, which is really nice. Google Drive has some applications which are really similar to Microsoft application. Google Docs is really similar to Word. Sheets is really similar to Excel, though there are some differences. Slides is very similar to PowerPoint. And Forms doesn't really have a Microsoft equivalent that I know of, but it is used to create surveys. So whether you know it or not, everyone at KVCC who is an employee has a KVCC Google Drive, and it is tied to your Valley account. You may also have one if you have a personal Gmail account. You probably have more than one Google Drive then, your KVCC and your personal one. But to access your KVCC Google Drive, you're going to go into My Valley, and over on the left-hand side, under Student Links, you find Employee Links. You will see employee email, employee Google Drive, and voicemail. And obviously we're going to be clicking on the Google Drive. This little triangle thing is the Google Drive symbol. I'm going to click that. And this is my KVCC Google Drive. A couple of things to notice here. Right now, my drive is highlighted. That means that these things that are showing, suggested is a little bit different. I kind of just ignore those usually, but all of my things down below, including my folders and my files on this page, are things that I created. I'm the person who started these, and they're saved in my drive. I have things organized into folders for me to easily find them. If you don't put things in folders, you're just going to have loose files like I have down here. So eventually I'll put all of these into their own folders, and then I won't have any loose files. But if you don't use folders, you'll just have files down here. And I believe they put in alphabetical order for you to find them. They're not in any kind of time order. If you're having a hard time finding something, like you didn't use folders, you can't find it in your files, you can use this little search bar up here, and this will just search within your KVCC Google Drive for that document. So if I couldn't find this certificate master copy, I could type certificate in here, and it would bring up anything that has certificate in the name. Sometimes if I can't find something that I'm looking for, it might have been an item that was shared with me. So in the FSC, we share a lot of documents with one another. So it might have been something that somebody sent to me and I wasn't the original person who owned it. So I might find it in this shared with me area. So you can see the things that David and Aaron and Gail have sent me. And all of these things are things that I did not start, someone else did, and they shared them with me. So that is the two main places you need to know about in your drive. And to actually start something new in your drive, you're going to use this plus new, this big plus button up here. When you click it, we have some different options. One, you can create folders. That's just these folders that I used for organization. You can upload things from your computer into your Google Drive. So here is a file upload, here is a folder upload. If I just want to take a Word document that I have on my computer and move it into my Google Drive, I can do that with this file upload. That's really nice because then I don't have to email that Word document to myself or anything. Anywhere I have internet, I can access it in my Google Drive. This folder upload is, let's say I have a whole bunch of Word documents about the FSC that I need to put into my drive. I can upload a whole folder. And then if you want to start a Google Doc, you'll use this button. If you want to start a Google Sheet, you'll use this. If you want to start a Google Slide, you'll do this. And a Google Form is a kind of survey, you would use that. So let's say I'm starting a Google Doc. I click that, it opens a new document. This is set up really, really similar to Microsoft Word. So you have your toolbar up here, your different options for formatting. You can give it a good name. I highly suggest giving things good names so that you can find them later. If you just, smash random buttons on your keyboard, it's going to be really hard to find things that you need later. So I'm going to call this test document. And I can make my document. This is a test. Let's say that I want to collaborate with David Cobb, my colleague in the FSC, on this. All I would do is click this share button. Right now it's set to private, so only I can see it, but I can actually add him so that he's able to get it as well. So I have him already added in here, but didn't have him in here already. I would have to type Dave dcobb at kvcc.edu, and then that will send him a message that I added him. I can either give him editing access, which means he's able to change, comment, edit, do anything on this that I'm able to do. I can make him a commenter, which means he's able to look at it and leave comments, but not actually able to change the content. He's not able to edit the document. Or I can make him a viewer, where he can see the document, he can look at it, but he's not able to comment or change anything. So if I'm working with him on something, I want to make him an editor. And I'm just going to let him know this is a test for a video so that when he gets this email, he knows that it's just a test. So if you get an email that has a link to a Google Drive document, like this email from Paige here, I'm going to click this and I can see on the URL when I hover over it that it is a Google Doc. So I know it's going to open in Google Docs. So I click here. So it opens up and I'm able to see the document that she shared with me in Drive. I'm not able to edit it. I can highlight things just for myself, but it doesn't actually change the document. And I'm not able to change it at all because she just gave me viewing access. But sometimes, especially when you are working at KVCC and you try to open things, sometimes they accidentally open with your personal Gmail if you have that account saved on your computer. So if I'm accidentally signed in on the wrong account and I click the document, it will open and look something like this. It says, I need access. And I might think, oh, well, she sent it to me, I should have access. But when you look down here, it says you are signed in as, that's my personal email, not my KVCC email. So I'm not going to request access because my private email doesn't need access. I actually just need to be able to get to it with my KVCC account. So if I click this, it will show me my different accounts that I have saved. Here's my KVCC account. That is the one I want. So I'm going to press that. And once I do, I now have access to the document because I switched from my personal account to my KVCC account. My personal account doesn't have access to this because it's not a KVCC account and we want it to stay within KVCC. You can check which account you're in with your little circle up here. Mine says H. If you hover over it, it gives you your name and your account info. If you click it, it will list your different Google accounts that you have saved on here and you can switch between them. So right now I'm in my KVCC Google Drive. If I clicked this one, I would go into my personal Google Drive. And if I clicked this one, I would go into the FSC Canvas Google account. So that is a quick overview of your Google Drive and how to open emails or documents that are shared with you on Google Drive. Of course, if you have any questions, you can contact us in FSC and we will be happy to help.